Aloha. So today is September 11th, 2019. And this is my 9/11 story. It started out just like any other day. Living in Northern California, Septembers were always one of the best months for weather. The heat had subsided in the inland, and it was usually really nice. And I remember getting the kids up that day, getting them off to school, and remembering driving to work. What a beautiful day it was. Beautiful sunrise. So I was in college at the time, and I was scurrying off, doing what a mom does in the morning, the kids off to school and everything. And I remember turning the radio on and listening to music, and as I'm approaching the college, this message came across from the DJ. We weren't syndicated radio stations at the time, so local DJs. And he had said that there had been a plane crash into the World Trade Center in New York. And I thought, that's odd. How'd that happen? So I get to school, and I walk into the cafeteria area because, I don't know, getting water or a drink or whatever. And they had TVs up. And it was dead silence in the cafeteria. And it was full of students. And the TVs had the one tower burning. And we all thought, oh, that's really odd. And being in Northern California, I didn't know what skyscrapers was. I mean, the tallest building we had was, I think, 5 stories. And I was thinking, wow, that's terrible. Look at that. I wonder how, what are they going to do? And then about, I don't even remember the time frame in between, the same shot showed the second plane going in. And once again, the gasps and the oh my gods from every student there. Everyone looking at the TV and thinking, what is going on? So I went to my class, and they had canceled the rest of the day's classes because it was futile for us to even be there. Just the scariness of it all. So I went on to work. It was the job that I retired from, and it was the job that I was going to college for to get my degree, to get a promotion. And I remember walking on our campus, the work campus. And then I heard that a plane crashed in Germantown, Pennsylvania. One of my former crew members lives in Georgetown. And later that day, he had called me, because I guess I was very influential in his life. And he said, Miss Colleen, he said, what are we going to do? And I said, well, Terry, be with your family. Go home. Love your family. And I got to thinking, what am I going to do? So I had to live by my words. So I went home to be with my family. Then we find out the Pentagon. Well, my brother is, or was, Okay, the gimbal just quit. Works for the government. Worked for Homeland Security. And I worried about him and his family because they lived in Washington, D.C. So we went to work. I went to work. And I had to keep it together for our cruise. They were uncertain what was going to happen and what was going to be done. And I remember the tears falling for people we didn't even know. But we surely know them now. The first responders who never made it home. The workers who never made it home. The families who've never had closure because their loved ones have never been found. They were lost in the rubble. And I just remember that life is never going to be the same again. And it hasn't been. And I think that event made me realize that I have to follow my dreams. I have to follow what's good for me. And realize that my children are now grown. I've been married for 25 years. I had to go discover who I was and what I mean in the world. So what I did was venture to Hawaii years later and found myself and found my peace. Unfortunately, many of the survivors, the families, have never had peace since. And being 18 years ago, when the children of parents who were lost are now grown and probably having children of their own, what do they tell their children about this day? The day that changed America. The day that changed the world. So on this day, we all remember where we were. We all remember how we felt. And I think we all realized that the life that we know is never going to be the same again. And I send out prayers and love and light to the families, to the victims, and to everybody that touched their lives. So on this day, we remember. And what do we remember? We remember to never forget what this day 18 years ago meant. And it still means. And that's my 9/11 story. Aloha.